Actually, we've had, as I said before, a bit of feedback from the listeners, and one of them asked us a very good question.
Oh,
It was as year 12s, how do we view
and
the
it's good to
lower
have a
year
guest on
levels?
this one. Thank you, Emily, for this.
Shout out to Emily Higginbotham.
Yeah.
Yeah, Higginbotham.
Great last name.
Brilliant last name. All right. So what she wanted to know is, as year 12s, how do we look down on the year levels?
So-
And when we were younger, how did we view year 12s?
Because it's way different nowadays. It's totally
different.
Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, start us off,
Well,
Eamon.
I'm going to go from the bottom up.
So you were
So
year
what's
7?
the bottom? Is the bottom year 7?
Because that's when middle school started.
Yeah,
I think we'll start year 7.
Year 7. All right, so we're starting
Because
from year
I
7.
used to look up at year 12s and just be like... And it
Terrified.
probably went up to about halfway through year 9. I think, you people are the biggest people in the world.
Yes!
There is nothing bigger than you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see the occasional taller one, and you just be like,
I mean, look, to be honest, I was always... I was terrified of them until about year 10.
Yeah,
and then
same.
I was just really respectful. Like, I didn't want to muck around with them.
You know
or
they
anything
won't
like that.
bash you now.
Yeah, exactly. You're like...
You always thought,
they're
oh,
still
crap.
their own year level, but you're not exactly scared of them anymore. You just don't want to...
You don't want to mess with them.
You don't want to mess with them. Nowadays, it's
completely
completely changed. You walk through the middle school, you get abuse hurled at you.
Oh, it's ridiculous. And you can't retaliate,
No.
guys. You can, but if they cry, you're probably going to get in more trouble.
Yeah, well...
It's just...
I don't know if... Maybe those year 12 saw us as disrespectful, but it's just because we've gotten older that we...
But I
don't think
walk
I
through the
ever
middle school.
insulted one.
I walk through the middle school and I get stuff yelled at me like, "Oh, you're a fag," or you walk funny or some shit like that. I never.
Walk funny.
I was, the middle school quad, hung around there a few times. If a year 12 walked through it, it'd be like a spread of silence. If a year 12 group
Hush,
walked through, it'd be like, "Let me through and you won't get hurt."
Yeah,
Everyone just kind of, like, no one went up to them.
And you walk to your locker and you'd open it and you bury your head in your locker and like, as they passed it.
I'm finding my
Oh
books.
my God,
I'm finding my books. I'm finding my books, and
Yeah.
they'd walk past and then all would be fine again.
Yeah.
But now, even if a group of year 12s walk through, it's...
I reckon the more year 12s there are, the more, the more likely you will be picked on.
Yeah.
Because I walk through the middle school to get to school,
Yeah.
clearly, from the front of the school.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I like to walk by myself in the morning with my headphones and not listen to music. When I go through the middle school, I kind of have my, eyes going forward, not looking at anyone. And I think, admittedly, I can't hear them. I think they don't, they'll just be like, okay, just leave him alone, he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
But if there's more than, maybe one of you, 2, there's 3 even, they will see you and just be like, oh, dickhead.
See, I don't know what that symbolises, whether a lack of intelligence or just an increased smart-ass
Cockiness.
level.
I don't know if that's true walking by yourself, and I'm a little ashamed to admit this,
Just
but I was walking through middle school. Yeah, it was middle school. Probably 2 weeks ago. And I was just walking along, minding my own business, I was trying to get to the PA centre. And this kid, can't have been very old, maybe year 7, even younger, has pretended to throw a ball at me. I did flinch.
Yeah.
I did flinch.
Yeah, that happens.
And
Oh my
I went, wow, I'm a weak person.
Right.
It was just, I flinched to a year 7.
Well, what happened to
This
me
is a
was...
strange balance of power.
You don't like it.
What happened to me was I was walking back from... For our listeners, if you don't know, we have to walk through the middle school to get to the Performing Arts Centre.
Yeah.
I was walking, and you can either choose to walk through the shelter of not the shelter, but
Like the quad sort of,
the
middle
quad,
school quad.
or you can walk through...
Around it, basically.
You can walk through, sort of like a playing sports field, right?
Yeah.
So I was walking back from the PA, and usually when I'm walking back from Jana, if it's just before recess has already begun. So I'm walking back through the PA, and there's the usual groups out there, they're just kicking the footy around.
What's the way of kicking the footy? They just give the footy to each other and
Yeah.
Get him!
It's tackle ball. It's great fun.
So it was a particularly wet day. So I was walking. I think it was just by myself. I was walking up. All of a sudden, I hear this whooshing noise, and a football comes out and lands smack bang in the middle of a puddle, particularly muddy puddle, and I get showered with mud. Right.
That's no good.
And if I'd have been the one to kick that ball, I would have done either done 2 things. I would have fucking run for it, or
Especially
I would have
year 12.
I would have gone up to the year 12 and been like, "Oh, jeez, I'm so sorry,"
Yeah.
I got laughed at by everyone in that field, and I felt threatened.
Well, I was thinking we need to band together because if you're in year 12 now, you'll understand that little kids are shitheads right
Oh, I
now.
hate them.
If you're in year 11, you probably won't understand as much, but you will have copped shit off one of the little kids. And if you're in year 10, you'll eventually...
Anyone in the senior school would have copped shit from middle school.
And again, year 10 and 11, you'll have to band together even more because you're going to be in year 12 eventually.
See, that's the thing that changes though. Don't you reckon that the abuse level lowers as they enter year 10 and 11? I reckon the year 10s and 11s are very respectful to the year 12s.
No, they're fine. That's what I'm saying.
Likewise. I mean, I don't mind them at all. They're fine.
Great people.
I think
some of them are wankers. But
well, I think some of the year 11s, because it's getting towards the end of year 11 and they're almost in year 12 and we're nearly out of year 12. I think some of them, not all of them, are starting to get a bit of, we're the top of the school now.
We're going to show them at the last day of school.
But
First
time I got drunk was halfway through year 10.
Yeah.
On rum.
We don't condone underage drinking.
No, we don't.
It is an experience.
It is, and you learn kind of not to abuse it, I guess.
Yeah, you do. Oh God, do you learn?
Oh, you learn.
I think all of us in year 12 have learnt the hard way.
I think that's the only way to learn.
Yeah, it is. You learn if you drink too much, you're gonna have a bad night.
Actually, change your plans. Every underage person listening, get really drunk.
Get hammered and then feel the effects of it the next morning. Not only the physical effects, I mean the sickness, the headaches. I'm talking about the social effects. What you did last night.
Yes.
You made out with a fence or a really ugly girl.
Yeah.
Or you stripped off naked and ran through the house. I mean,
all three of which I've done.
Oh, Jesus.
Actually, no, you made out with a fence.
I made out with a fence. If you're listening and you've never gotten sufficiently drunk, you're probably thinking, I'll never do that.
You do.
Trust me, you will.
It's...
because you lose all sense of...
What's the strangest thing you've done drunk?
Well, give me a
minute. Or just the weirdest, stupidest thing you've done?
I think making out with a fence would be pretty up there.
Mysteriously eating a whole pizza. It was a large pizza.
That was more like the next morning though, when we discovered
it's the weirdest thing I've done when I was drunk.
We discovered the pizza box hanging off the plasma television.
I haven't done that much. Clearly.
And we just what was
what's yours, Eamon? Do you have one that you can think of?
Mine's kind of just gross.
Uh-oh.
No. I got I'd been mixing spirits. So it was just a concoction of alcohol in my stomach.
Yes.
And you know when you get that urge, I'm gonna spew.
Yep.
It hit me, and the trouble was, I was indoors. It was a tiled floor, thankfully, and I was a good 15 meters away from the toilet. And so I just run to the toilet. Got about 7 meters away from the toilet.
No. Did you
couldn't hold in vomit anymore? So I just started vomiting and running. I was vomiting and running to the toilet. No. And so by the time I did get to the toilet,
you were
like
done.
An eighth of all the vomit just went in the toilet, and it was just this trail of vomit.
So you didn't even try and catch it. You were just going...
Pretty much.
That is a horrible, terrifying image.
And then I got up in the morning, because I didn't remember that night, but I did remember spewing.
Yeah.
And I thought, this isn't going to be fun to clean up. I'd cleaned it all up and forgotten about it.
Wow.
That's the best thing ever.
That would be a good feeling.
Can you vomit after a party and then keep drinking afterwards, or are you out of it? Because I know only a very select few people can vomit and then drink.
Once I vomit, that's it.
So you're out of it once you vomit?
Out of it.
Sleepy or...
No, I just,
wow, you're out of it.
It depends. If I'm drinking... I vomit if I'm drinking really heavily and I'm going too quick. And then at about 11-ish, maybe 12, I'll vomit. And then whether I want to go to bed or not, but I stop drinking entirely. Right. Once you reach vomit, you've got to stop drinking.
What about you? Can you vomit and drink, or vomit it out?
Vomit asleep.
I can't. What do you? I can't drink
sometimes all at once.
If I have a really messy night, I can't drink for a couple of nights after.
I
just don't want to.
That's obvious. I can vomit and keep drinking, but I have chose not to.
I can't do it.
Vomiting for me.
Water only.
Vomiting for me takes about like a 20-minute gap of me just sitting by something going, oh
no, see, I can't stand that. It's a
bad feeling.
Exactly, I cannot stand that. If I feel the need to vomit, I'm just going to make myself.
Dry reach?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you are a trooper.
Well, I mean, look, I'll be drunk at the time, and vomiting while drunk is actually a very relieving experience.
It's like going to the toilet. It's a relief. It's definitely up there with one of the big relievers.
Yeah,
trust me. Relieving yourself when you need to wee.
Yeah, you have first-hand experience of that today.